Manhwa begins with a very large building where the news is playing. The broadcast announces breaking news. After an intense 13-hour meeting to decide the chairman of Samjin Group, the meeting has finally ended. John Seong-guk has been selected as the CEO of Samjin Group. Unlike other third-generation chairmen who were removed from their positions due to scandals or poor management, CEO John Seong-guk is different. This man is John Seong-guk, the CEO of Samjin Group. After hearing this news, he starts laughing and says, "That's right, just like that. Praise me more. I am the king of Samjin Group, John Seong-guk. I worked so hard for this moment. Studying abroad, exercising, keeping my stupid siblings under control, dealing with my uncle's behavior, and taking care of my arranged marriage partner. I did everything perfectly. On top of that, I built a good public image. Everything went perfectly. Becoming the master of Samjin Group was natural. But suddenly, the phone slips from his hand and falls to the ground. He can't breathe properly. Then he remembers that his grandfather, the founder of Samjin Group, also died of a heart attack. He says, "No, this can't happen to me. Someone like me can't die from something as trivial as a heart attack." But his story doesn't end there. Instead of dying, he reincarnates as a baby, and that too in a poor family. He is shocked and starts screaming. His parents try to calm him down. After some time, another scene is shown where he has calmed down. His mother says, "Our Seong-guk is so cute. Honey, don't you think our Seong-guk is really handsome?" His mother's name is Kim Soyoung, and she is 21 years old. His father's name is Jang Jiseong, who is 23 years old. His father replies, "You're right. He's even cuter than most celebrities' kids." His mother says, "Our Song is lucky to be born handsome, right?" He says in his mind, "You say I'm lucky," and angrily throws his pacifier away. He thinks, "What is all this? My perfect body, 183 centimeters tall, 75 kilograms, total lift of 500 in the big three, where did it all go? What have I become? This weird little thing, barely 3 heads tall. I was the king of Sam Group, John Song. And now I've become a baby in a poor family." His parents are basically young couples in their 20s. They come from an orphanage background and have nothing. At that moment, his mother says, "Come on, it's time for your milk." Song thinks, "Now I have to drink this cheap formula milk." But in a baby's body, you can't refuse milk. He starts drinking while crying. His dad kisses his cheeks. Song thinks, "Disgusting. Men shouldn't be this affectionate with each other. Dying on the best day of my life, becoming a baby, everything feels completely pointless." But honestly, the hardest thing is adjusting between these two people. They're so clingy and overly dramatic that it's unbearable. Still, this feeling of having parents is something I've never experienced before. A flashback is shown where his original parents never gave him time. They used to tell him to take responsibility himself and look after his younger siblings. Basically, he never had proper parents. Back to the current scene, he thinks, this isn't the time to be sentimental. His dad asks, "Are you feeling sleepy after eating?" Song thinks, "Wait a second. This is a baby's body. How can I sleep right now?" His dad says, "Looks like he fell asleep." Song thinks, "I'll sleep for now. I'll deal with everything tomorrow." Song's dad says, "That's good. While he's sleeping, you should rest too." His dad says, "Just relax and watch some TV." He turns on the TV, and the news starts playing. The news reports that Samjin Group Chairman John Josh has been accused of bribery, and Chairman John Josh has personally come forward to answer all questions. As soon as Song hears his company's name, he suddenly sits up. His mother says in shock, "Honey, did you see that? Our Song sat up by himself." Song thinks, "This can't be. That's my grandfather, who should already be dead. Does that mean I've returned to my own past, but in a different family?" The news keeps playing, and Song sits close to the TV watching carefully. His grandfather is on the screen. He thinks, "Without a doubt, I remember this moment clearly. When I was 10 years old, my grandfather was caught bribing. The people who were afraid of us took advantage of this and started calling us a corrupt corporation that runs on bribes. What nonsense. Money is power, and connections are superpower. Thinking you can become rich just by saving is a dream only poor people have." Song's parents are happy because he is walking on his own for the first time. Song recalls how, before the prosecution, his grandfather asked him to push his wheelchair. It was a performance to gain public sympathy. His grandfather's wheelchair is being pushed by his younger brother, John Taiga. Song thinks, "My stupid, greedy younger brother. He went abroad to study but only learned how to become an addict. This bastard spent his entire life trying to steal my position." A night scene is shown. Song's mother brings apple juice for him, but Song angrily knocks it away and goes back to watching TV. At that moment, his dad comes home and says, "Honey, I'm back. The boss gave me all the leftover meat today." He works as a chef at a nearby restaurant. He says, "I'll cook something delicious." But his wife stops him and points at Song. She says, "Our son is still watching watching TV. He's only watching the news. If we change the channel, he starts crying. His dad says, leave it to me. Daddy is home, my cutie. How about you stop watching TV and play with dad? But Song tightly grabs his finger and thinks, turn the TV back on. His dad looks disappointed. Song thinks, I don't have time for useless things. I need as much information as possible about the current situation, about my grandfather, about Sam Gene Group, and about how to return to my original body. But his mother turns off the TV and says, that's enough. You haven't eaten anything all day. You should eat and rest now. Song starts crying and thinks, let me go. Do you even know how hard it was for me to secure my place as the successor of Sam Gene Group? Am I really going to lose everything to John Taeguk just like this? I need to go back to my position. His mother starts putting him to sleep and says, be a good baby and rest now. Song thinks, maybe becoming a baby is making me stupid. My emotions are scattered everywhere. Whenever this woman pats my back, I fall asleep without even realizing it. Song falls asleep. His dad comes and says, he finally slept. Was he like this all day? It must have been hard for you. His mother says, I'm worried about Song. He's almost 1 year old, but he still hasn't called us mom or dad. He just keeps watching the news. I don't know much about parenting, so I'm scared I might be raising him the wrong way. His dad says, sweetheart, even if we don't know much, our love for him is real. A few days later, Song is in terrible condition. He thinks, I'm completely finished. For days, I pretended to sleep and secretly watched the news, but I didn't find anything useful. The world is moving on as if nothing happened, and I'm still stuck in a baby's body. What kind of life is this? His mother comes and asks, what's wrong? You're not watching TV today. Don't you want to watch the news anymore? Song thinks, I've given up. She says, how about going for a walk with mom? The weather is really nice today. Just then, the building's landlord appears. Song's mother says, Miss Landlord, are you going to work? The landlord replies, I had some work this morning. You're going out quite late today. Song's mother greets her politely. Song thinks, the owner of this building is pretty young. They reach the market. Song's mother says, we're here. Bean sprouts are really cheap in this market. I'll make a nice bean sprout soup today. Song thinks, wow, she really talks a lot. Suddenly, Song notices a heavy metal object falling toward them from a construction site. Song and his mother notice it, but it's already too late. His mother completely covers him to protect him and takes the full impact herself, saying, Seong-guk, I'll protect you. Song is completely safe. He cries out, Mom, Mom, you can't die. Song's mother is rushed to the hospital. The doctors say, prepare for immediate surgery. Does she have any other complications? At that moment, Song's mother opens her eyes. Song's dad says, you're awake. Are you feeling better now? She says, honey, where am I? Where is Seong-guk? He replies, he's right here. Because of you, he's safe. But he was really scared after you got hurt. Song's mother says, Seong-guk, you must have been really scared. But mommy is fine. I'm happy that my little Seong-guk is safe. Song starts crying in tears and thinks, this was bad. This was really bad. Have you ever thought about how precious your life is? What would we have done if something had really happened to you? At that moment, Song's mother says, but honey, this looks like a private room. Why did you take such an expensive hospital room? I don't think my condition was that serious. Soyoung's dad starts feeling shy and says that the doctor told her she needs complete rest. Soyoung asks, complete rest? Why? He replies, you know, at this time. Then we see the bed, where it is written, strict bed rest for pregnant moments. This means Soyoung is going to have a brother or sister. Everyone shares a happy moment together. Suddenly, a nurse enters the room and says, excuse me, today's visiting hours are almost complete. Soyoung's dad says, yes, I was just about to leave. On the way, he says, alright, Shang, now we should go home. The bus goes near our house, and it's not very far. We can walk. We can see Soyoung's dad's shoes. This man is truly very hardworking. Shang thinks, so do we not even have money to go home now? We can't even afford bus fare. This household is really struggling, but a father who works tirelessly to provide for his family, a mother who put her life at risk for me. Only then does Soyoung finally call him dad, and he becomes very happy. Soyoung thinks, these people are my family now. My parents. A week later, we see a scene where they are celebrating because Soyoung's mother has been discharged. They are taking photos of Shang. His mother says, our little Siango looks so cute, doesn't he? Don't you think our son is especially handsome? Yes, you're right. He's even cuter than most celebrities' kids. How can he look so cute and perfect? But Shang gets angry inside and thinks, is this really the time to celebrate? You struggled so much just to pay the hospital bills, even saved bus fare because every single penny mattered. When money is this important, things like celebrations should be ignored. Then he thinks, my previous self would have scolded them badly, but now I understand. this is love, a kind of love that money can't buy, a love where you can even risk your life for someone else. Thinking this, Shang starts enjoying with them and says to himself, when my mom was in the hospital a week ago, I made a decision. I have to do something. In reality, my parents won't escape poverty because they don't know anything about investing or financial planning, they aren't even in a position to save, they struggle even to afford basic necessities. And soon, a major economic crisis is coming, if the future I know is correct. Just then, the doorbell rings, their landlord, Kim Myung, arrives. She says, I heard you were discharged, so I came to see you. And yes, your baby, have you ever thought about making him a child actor? In the next scene, we see Soyoung's mother bringing Shang to an audition. She says, this is where the audition will take place. Shang thinks, this looks decent. Seems like they spent some money. Soyoung's mother asks, what should I do? I'm sure I didn't come here for no reason. Shang thinks, what are you talking about? This is a golden opportunity for me. We see a flashback where the landlord explains, the company I work for got a TV commercial project for a famous business group. Right now, we're auditioning for an important child actor role. Your son is good looking and seems talented. Back in the present, Shang smiles in a sinister way and laughs. Those who are destined for success will succeed, this is my chance to make money. He recalls his past, I grew up surrounded by cameras, makeup and camera work are basic skills for me. People used to compare me to actors and say I could easily fit as one. I'll crush this audition and take all the prize and money. He thinks, the money I earn, I'll invest it. Suddenly, a woman shouts at Soyoung's mother, what are you doing? Why aren't you going inside? Soyoung's mother replies, why don't you go first? They enter the lift. Shang glares angrily at the rich woman. Soyoung's mother calls the rich woman's child cute. The nanny says, this is our young master. The woman interrupts, don't talk to us, you're here for the audition too, right? Trying to increase competition, well, try if you want, the selected one will be ours. Shang gets furious and thinks, what did you just say? Look at her, acting all royal and classy, covered in luxury brands, treating the nanny like a servant, a textbook rich house madam. Just wait, I'll completely destroy you in the audition. The scene shifts to the audition hall where many children are present. Soyoung's mother says, this doesn't look easy, right? Shang thinks, no, it's just a simple camera test, they're checking how we look on screen and basic acting. The only problem is the hot lights, kids can't tolerate them for long. The director calls the rich woman's child, the assistant director says, aren't you Duke Pang Paper's wife? Is that a person's name or a company? Shang thinks, so they're from that family. Their company is just average, far below mine. The assistant asks the child to smile, but he gets scared and starts crying. She says, if he keeps crying, it'll be hard to continue. The woman shouts, what are you talking about? He'll stop crying. Just wait. The director says, next child, Shang. Take the madam and the child outside to calm him down. Continue the audition. Soyoung's mother places Shang on stage. The audition starts. The rich woman pushes Soyoung's mother aside and says, move. I want to see how he performs. Shang thinks, yes, watch carefully. I'll show you how I get selected. Shang starts acting. The director gets impressed and says, my camera. Bring my camera. Look here, try side angles. Cute poses, amazing, this child is a genius. We should sign him immediately. Soyoung's mother thinks, our Shang is a genius. The director introduces himself and says, your son is incredible. Let's sign the contract right now. Soyoung's mother hesitates, does he really have talent? This is all new to me. The director replies, of course. He understood everything naturally, as if he knew exactly what I meant. Shang actually understood everything. The rich woman screams, what's going on? The final audition is still left. How can you act like the winner is already decided? Later, final candidates are announced. Shang and the rich woman's child. They are told to wait. Soyoung's mother feels nervous. Our Shang became a final candidate even among so many talented kids. She goes to the washroom, leaving Shang with the nanny. The nanny says, the more I look at him, the more special he seems. The rich woman snaps angrily and insults her. Shang hears everything and thinks, I really wish I could slap her. He realizes the audition is corrupt, the model was already decided. The assistant director and the woman discuss secretly. Shang understands everything. Finally, the final audition begins. The director says, the child who delivers the lines naturally will win. Shang looks at his mother and thinks, don't worry, I'll handle it. The director says, action. Shang positions himself perfectly for the camera, while the other child runs to his mother. The director decides to start with Shang. The assistant director thinks, Jahi has practiced properly, but this kid doesn't know anything, he's definitely going to lose. As soon as Si-young is about to tell Soyoung to say daddy, Soyoung speaks first. He says it in such a cute and perfect way that the director says again, just as expected from Si-young. My eyes don't lie. But at that moment, the rich woman comes to the director and says, please take a look at Jahi as well. The director knows that this woman is very stubborn, so he says, alright. Jahi, can you try saying daddy? But instead of speaking, Jahi starts crying. Honestly, this woman is getting secondhand embarrassment again and again. She then says, this doesn't make any sense. I trained him for this. Hearing this, the director asks, what did you say? Before things escalate, the assistant director twists the situation and says, the audition is over. Thank you everyone. Si-young laughs and says, now nothing can happen. I've already won. But a little later, we see that the rich woman's child wins. Well, that was bound to happen. Si-young's guardian tells the assistant director, this can't be true. My Si-young performed really well. But the assistant director replies, just because a child acts cute doesn't mean he can become a child actor. Then the rich woman comes again and says, how dare you try to win with just a little charm? Don't you know your place? For a low-class child, even second place is more than enough. You must have worked very hard for this, right? After saying this, she leaves. Si-young's guardian says, how can she say such things in front of my Si-young? But Si-young looks very calm. He tells his mother to relax and says, everything happened exactly as I expected. If my calculations were correct. At that moment, the director runs over and says to Si-young's guardian, can we talk for a moment? We are shown a past scene. When Si-young heard that Jahi's victory was already decided, Si-young says, the moment I heard that, I changed my plan. In my past life, I saw countless corruptions like this. You can't defeat people who have already bought. Si-young's guardian, I need to talk to you. You must be surprised. Those people, it feels like the audition was fixed from the start. I'm sorry, Si-young. I didn't want to show you such a meaningless scene. Si-young, however, speaks happily, yes, then what do you mean next? The director invites Si-young's guardian to come on the day of the commercial shoot next week. Hearing this, Si-young says, that's exactly what I wanted. I don't want to be a one-time commercial model. Impressing the director equals connections. Then I'll keep getting child actor roles. Later, I'll become a child star. And after that, I'll become rich. The main point is that I need to secure a stable and consistent source of income. With commercials like this, you can do whatever you want. I'll pull this director to my side. Si-young's guardian asks the director why they need to come to the commercial shoot. The director replies, for baby models, we always keep 1 or 2 backups. They can fall sick anytime. And honestly, we're quite worried about the current winner. Well, the concern makes sense because Jahi can start crying anytime. The director holds Si-young's guardian's hand and says, please, just help us this once. Of course, I'll do it. You just say yes. Si-young's eyes are practically shining with money. This boy is truly greedy, the director says. It feels like he understands everything we're saying. If all children were like Si-young, my job would be so much easier. By the way, could you share your contact information for future projects with Si-young? And here's my business card. Si-young's mother gives the director their home number. A week later, the shooting scene begins. Si-young's guardian arrives at the location and says, I can't believe there's such a place inside a forest. Just then, the assistant director arrives. Seeing her, Si-young gets angry and says, she's that same corrupt assistant director. The assistant director asks, why is this child looking at me like that? Come, I'll take you to the waiting room. You're here as backups, right? I heard it from the director. Meanwhile, Si-young notices a washing machine. It's a product from the same company, same and turbo washer. Si-young says, this product was a huge hit because of its revolutionary drum system. Because of this, Samjean Company's stocks rose rapidly. That made Grandpa very happy. Is this commercial about that product? Just then, that rich woman arrives and starts yelling, why are these people here? They already failed. This time, Si-young's guardian doesn't hold back. She replies, the director invited us as backups. And don't use such language in front of children. The woman angrily says, why do you even need backup models? The assistant explains, if Jahi suddenly falls sick, we'll need a backup. But the woman snaps back, our Jahi doesn't need any of that. Anyway, what's so difficult about this commercial? Jahi is in top condition. Well, it doesn't really look like it. She then says, anyway, you people are useless. Go sit over there. Just then, a woman enters, the lead actress, Ms. Sianmi. She asks, are these the children I'm shooting with today? The assistant replies, yes. The boy over there is Si-young, the backup model. And this is Jahi, the audition winner. Sianmi tries to talk to Jahi, but he ignores her and starts crying. Sayami pouts and says, well, I guess he's not interested in me. Then she goes to Seong, who is only interested in making connections. He becomes very friendly with her. Sayami says, I've never seen such a friendly baby. Seong's mother replies, yes, our Seong is very friendly with everyone. Sayami then says, I find this child cuter. Can I shoot with him instead? Hearing this, the rich woman gets furious. She grabs Sayami's hand tightly and shouts, what nonsense are you talking? Sayami pulls her hand away angrily and says, excuse me, who are you? Do you even know what you're doing? Before the woman can respond, a man places a hand on her shoulder and says, I heard someone raising their voice here. What's going on? Sayami is shocked and says, Vice Chairman, what are you doing here? The man replies, I couldn't miss the shoot of our new product. Seong freezes in shock, because this man is his father, John Jahang, Vice Chairman of Samjin Group. Seong explains that although his father isn't like John Jashin, he is a capable vice chairman. He handled the company during a crisis, improved its structure, and invested boldly in new fields. People consider him a smart business leader, a successful vice chairman, but as a husband and father, he was absolutely terrible. Seeing him brings back old memories. We shift to the past. Seong says his father always had many affairs. When Seong was 10, his father introduced him to a woman. That woman said, so you're Seong? You're so cute. Take care of me from now on. Okay. Seong says yes. Just like that, his father's ninth mistress was also someone he erased from his mind. That woman was none other than Sayami. Back in the present, Sayami says she's shooting with children again this time, and that she likes this child a lot. Seong's father greets her, but an assistant interrupts, excuse me, sir, it's time for you to leave. He says, yes, I'm late. I have to go now. Before leaving, he tells the woman, please take good care during filming. Hearing this, the woman becomes nervous and promises to do her best. After all, she's standing before the vice chairman of Samjin Group. Seong thinks his father always looked like a playboy, but in crucial moments, he had the charisma befitting a corporate leader. That was his father. Before leaving, the chairman pats Seong's head and says, take care during the shoot. Seong thinks, father, this life will be completely different from my past life. I've found something I can call family. I'll protect them. And one day, I'll build a company even bigger than Samjin. The day we meet again will surely come. The assistant director announces, alright everyone, we're starting the shoot. Seong smiles again and says, the past life is in the past. Let's focus on what matters now. This kid Jahi, I'm going to do something with him. Seong explains the advertisement concept. It shows a mother and baby in a beautiful forest villa. The mother washes the father's sweaty white shirt, the washing machine spins, and the shirt becomes bright white and clean. The baby happily presses his cheek against the shirt and calls his dad. The ad ends with a refreshing shot of the shining washing machine. In his past life, this ad was a huge hit, and even won the Dongue Advertising Award. The child actor became instantly famous. So this advertisement should be his. During the shoot, Jahi starts acting out. The lead actress complains, whenever I go near him, he hits me. Seong's guardian wonders why the child suddenly changed. Seong smiles and says, yes, you're right. Why is he doing this? He reveals it was all according to his plan. He had told the troubled child that, if he resisted whenever Sayami came close, he could go home faster. The director finally says, this won't work. We'll shoot with the second model. The rich woman explodes in anger, my baby was the winner. The director replies firmly, the shoot has been delayed for an hour. He's not cooperating. We have to finish today. She threatens them by calling powerful people, but Sayami suddenly slaps her. Everyone is shocked. Sayami says, I hate people who aren't even involved but come to create chaos. Just because you're an executive's wife doesn't make you superior. She turns to the director, let's restart the shoot. I want to work with this child. The shoot resumes. The director says, alright, everyone get ready. That rich woman says, why are you shooting with this low-class kid instead of Jahi? What can he even do? Seong's mother covers Seong's ears so that he doesn't hear all this. Seong tells us that camera lights were one of the things that followed him till the very end in his previous life. Acting confidently in front of the camera is one of his strengths, so he knows very well how to act in front of it. The assistant director shows the dialogues to Sunmi. Sunmi says, Dad's dirty shirt has become so clean. Right baby? It looks absolutely clean and fluffy. Seong gives such a cute expression here that he impresses everyone once again. The director says, keep the main camera as it is, everyone else, focus around Seong. Seong continues his acting. Seeing this, the director says, his eyes are fixed on the camera. What kind of child is this? Even the lead actress gets shocked. She says, seriously, how can Si-young act like this? Then the assistant director shows the final lines to Sunmi. She delivers those lines perfectly, and the washing machine commercial ends nicely. An evening scene is shown, where the same woman is still shouting at them and says, just because he performed a little cutely, do you really want to make him a commercial model instead of Jahi? The director teases her and says, what about Jahi? He can't even act. Sunang is extremely tired. Just then, Sunmi comes near Sunang's assistant and says, let her shout as much as she wants, nothing is going to change. What's the need for all this drama? What can we do if her child can't act? Compared to that, our Si-young is truly much better. I didn't expect the shoot to finish in just 2 hours. Then that woman comes near Sunmi and says, don't make me laugh. You know nothing. Do you know how much money I spent on this useless ad? An assistant director, you must have received a good amount too. Hearing this, the director says, assistant director, you are receiving money, we will talk separately after all this. While leaving, the woman says again, I'll deal with all of you later. But Sunang says nothing because he is very tired. The director says, I'm sorry. Si-young's mother, you must be very surprised, right? Si-young's mother says, no, you worked very hard. The director replies, more than that, I should thank you. I don't know what would have happened if Si-young wasn't here. Hearing this, Si-young becomes happy. Then the director says, there are no shoots left now, you can go home and rest. The shooting fee will be handled through the company, and will be paid to you with complete honesty and respect. Sunmi says to Si-young's mother, would it be okay if I drop you home in my van? Si-young's mother agrees. Then a van scene is shown, where Si-young falls asleep. Sunmi says, he looks so cute while sleeping. Si-young's mother replies, he must be very tired, and thank you for dropping us home in such a nice car. But Sunmi says, I should be thanking Si-young. Si-young's mother gets a little surprised. Sunmi says, today, Si-young was an amazing lead actor. I should thank him. Because of him, I can leave work early today. His eyes were constantly following the camera lights. He understands camera work, and was acting completely in sync with my rhythm. Maybe it was just a coincidence, but he even matched my face angles. Here, Si-young adjusts his face and says, your right side looks better on screen. Sunmi says, he understands the camera flow, and gave a performance that will dominate the screen. In my eyes, Si-young is already a complete actor. Hearing this, Si-young's mother says in shock, our Si-young really is. Then Sunmi says, if that's the case, I'd like to give a suggestion. Si-young also wakes up from his sleep. Sunmi says something, but it is not shown to us yet, because both Si-young and his mother get shocked. Si-young says with a smile, are you serious? The scene shifts. We are shown Si-young's house, where their landlord hands over the money and says that this is 4 million won. She explains that the original fee was 3 million won, but the director asked them to increase it. Seeing this amount, Si-young's parents are completely shocked, while Si-young feels happy and thinks to himself that choosing child acting was the right decision. Otherwise, how would he have been able to make money in this child's body? He thinks that this amount is enough to start building capital and that if he invests it in stocks or gold, it will grow further, and an evil smile appears on his face. Si-young's father tells So-young that this is 4 million won and admits that he has never held so much money in his hands before. However, Si-young's mother looks tense and tells the landlord that actress Si-mi gave her something the previous day. Si-young then realizes why his mother was so shocked. The landlord explains that it is Si-mi's agency card from Sing Song Entertainment. Si-young's mother says that it seems they truly liked Si-young's talent, which is why they want to take him into their agency as an exclusive child actor. Hearing this, Si-young's father wonders whether they are trying to turn their son into a celebrity. Si-young's mother says she is unsure whether this is a good thing, but if Si-young does well, it might be fine, although everything feels very unexpected. The landlord reassures them and says she will look into it, mentioning that she has heard of Sing Song Entertainment and will check who their CEO is and how they treat their actors. Hearing this, Si-young's mother feels relieved and happy, while Si-young thinks about how much the landlord is willing to do for them. As she leaves, the landlord tells them not to worry, to relax, and congratulates Si-young on becoming a commercial model. Just as the landlord is about to leave, Si-young's mother stops her and asks why she helps them so much, pointing out that she was the one who recognized Si-young's talent and has always been ready to support them. The landlord is surprised but explains that she simply wants to support them. She shares that she has lived alone since childhood and knows how difficult life can be. She even saved money on food and clothes to buy this building. When Si-young's family moved in as tenants, seeing a young couple working hard together made her feel good, and she only wanted to cheer them up. She adds that perhaps she has gotten a little too involved and tells them not to feel pressured. Hearing this, Si-young's mother asks if she can call her Uni, which means older sister. The landlord is surprised, but Si-young's mother explains that she wants to treat her like family. The landlord smiles softly and agrees, saying she will now call her Soyoung, clarifying that Soyoung is Si-young's mother's name. Soyoung then says it's fine and decides to call the landlord Myongyuni, adding that from now on they will call her Ming. Si-young watches all this and thinks that everything makes sense now, feeling that it is truly a nice day. 2 weeks later, the scene shifts to the place where Si-young's father works. He tells his boss that, as instructed, they close the shop early. The boss, Park Won, who is the shop owner, thanks him and says that there is a big TV in the shop and that he also wants to watch Si-young's commercial. Si-young gets annoyed and thinks that if this old man were not his father's boss, he would not tolerate his behavior, but since he did them a favor today, he lets it go. Soon after, Ming arrives, and Si-young's mother welcomes her inside, saying she came at the perfect time. Ming comments that it feels like they are all going to watch a movie together. Si-young's father announces that the commercial is about to start and calls everyone over. They all sit down and watch Si-young's commercial, and seeing his cuteness makes everyone happy, with Park Won even clapping enthusiastically. Ming praises the commercial, saying it was edited very well and might even win the Commercial of the Year award if everything goes right. Si-young's father hugs him proudly and says he is incredibly proud of his son, wondering how his child could be so cute and wonderful. Si-young's mother tells him to stop exaggerating. At that moment, Park Won receives a phone call and becomes shocked when he realizes it is the director on the other end. The director says he heard they were watching the commercial together and explains that he has something urgent to discuss with Si-young's family. Asking if he can speak to them, the scene shifts again, and we are shown the director's office, where Si-young's parents are present. The director thanks them for coming, and Si-young's father thanks him for inviting them. The director asks Si-young how he is doing, and Si-young smiles and calls him director. The director is surprised and remarks that Si-young is speaking more than before. Si-young's mother laughs and explains that he is at the stage where he is learning to talk and speaks throughout the day. The director says this means they can now give Si-young longer dialogues and that soon he will be able to speak any script easily. He expresses excitement about watching Si-young grow. He then asks the parents to sit and explains that he called them because he wants to discuss a program in which Si-young will play the lead role. The program is called Just Baby, a parenting reality show where 5 famous idol group members will live with Si-young. At that moment, a boy enters and introduces himself as Taeyang, the leader of the group Just. Taeyang says he is excited to work with them, and Taeyang notices that she seems familiar with their group. She confirms that she has seen them on TV. Taeyang explains that although they still have a lot to learn, they are working hard to become the country's top idol group and asks for their support. Soyoung encourages them, praising their singing and dancing. However, Si-young's father feels uncomfortable and angrily asks if she likes someone other than him. Si-young thinks to himself that jealousy is pointless. The director reassures them that once shooting starts, they will meet the rest of the group members. Si-young's mother hesitates and asks whether this might be too much for Si-young. Si-young internally vows not to forget that his mother chose him over the idols. The director confidently says that Si-young is the heart of the program, explaining that he doesn't just understand situations but genuinely feels them. His facial expressions are perfect, and he knows exactly where the camera is. Si-young becomes excited and thinks that they must do this, recalling that he has seen this show in his past life. He explains that the show had a unique concept of placing a baby with an idol group and that it became a national sensation. Si-young's father, however, expresses concern, saying he worries that if Si-young keeps appearing on TV, he won't grow up like a normal child. He wants to raise him as an ordinary, lovable kid rather than a celebrity. Taeyang responds that he understands because he was also a child actor. He explains that growing up in the public eye means growing up in front of people, but he has no regrets because he had the talent and the right environment to shine, which allowed him to reach where he is today. He urges Si-young's father to believe in his son and give him the chance to shine if he has the ability. Si-young's father looks at his son and thinks that he is the most talented and beautiful child of all and decides to accept his destiny. He shakes hands with the director and asks him to take good care of Si-young. We are then shown the countdown to the first shoot of Korea's first ever parenting reality show, Just Baby. Contracts are signed, photos are taken, and finally, the first day of shooting arrives. Taeyang introduces the group as the new standard of K-pop, and all members are shown. The group greets Si-young and his parents, with one member grabbing Soyoung's hand and teasing her for being a fan, which makes Si-young's father angry again. The director announces that they will be shooting at the Just dorm and encourages everyone to do their best. Expressing high hopes for the show, Si-young thinks that these are the same people he met in his past life, as filming continues, various chaotic and comedic moments unfold. Michael tries to touch Si-young casually, but Si-young hits his hand, offended by the lack of respect. Tae-young scolds Michael for smoking earlier and not washing his hands, warning him not to touch the baby with dirty hands. Si-young thinks that Michael is just as unpleasant as he remembers from his past life and decides to take control of the show.